All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're breaking down a piece of tech that is literally flipping traditional content creation on its head. We're talking about MiniMax H3. It's a wildly impressive new AI video engine built by the MiniMax team, and you can get your hands on it right now over on the VideoAI platform. Look, if you're a content creator, an indie filmmaker, making ads, or just trying to build really engaging reels for your socials, you are absolutely going to want to pay attention today. So let's dive into what this engine can actually pull off.
Think about this for a second. For well over a century, if you wanted to make a professional cinematic video, the answer was an undeniable yes. You absolutely needed a camera, actors, studio, lighting, the whole shebang. But what if you could bypass the crazy gear rentals, the unpredictable weather, and that massive crew? Today, we're looking at how you can generate breathtaking, professional footage from just one single photo, or honestly, even just one line of text. I know, it sounds a bit like magic, but let's see how this actually works in reality.
So what's the secret sauce here? The core tech driving MiniMax H3 is called multimodal AI. Basically, this is an artificial intelligence model that simultaneously processes text, images, video, and audio. It doesn't just look at one input in a vacuum. It takes all of them in at the same time and understands how they fit together to generate remarkably cohesive outputs. It's just incredibly cool to see how these neural networks can digest multiple formats all at once and instantly grasp the context of the world you're trying to build.
Okay, so how do you actually get started? Well, you've got 4 distinct ways to launch your creation, essentially activating your first creative node. First off, you can go pure text. Literally, just write out one sentence describing your vision. Second, you can start from a single photo. Third, and this is a huge one for narrative control, you can give it a first and a last frame pair, and the AI will actually animate the journey between those 2 shots. And finally, you can just mix your references, combining text and images, to give the engine exactly what it needs to nail your specific vibe. It is so flexible.
And speaking of that flexibility, this leads right into one of the absolute biggest time savers on the platform. MiniMax H3 has built-in audio generation. Yep, it doesn't just spit out a silent video that you then have to go manually design sound for in post. It seamlessly creates the audio right alongside the video. If you've ever spent agonizing hours on a sound design pass, digging through libraries for the perfect ambient noise or Foley effects, you know exactly what a game changer this is. The sound is natively born with the visual. Now, let's talk about what is arguably the true killer app for this tool: flawless character consistency. If you've messed around with earlier AI video generators, you already know the notoriously frustrating problem, right? Your character's face suddenly morphs halfway through a shot, or a product randomly changes its shape mid-scene. Well, MiniMax H3 lets you effectively lock in a face, a specific product, or an overall aesthetic style. And it actually stays perfectly consistent throughout the entire clip from the first frame to the last. No more morphing. So how exactly do you achieve that perfect lock? You feed the engine reference files. You are allowed to upload up to 9 reference images, 3 reference videos, and 3 reference audio files. Now, there is a hard cap to keep in mind here. It maxes out at 12 files total per generation. But honestly, that gives you an incredibly rich palette. You can show the AI exactly what your character looks like from a bunch of different angles, or dial in a specific lighting style, perfectly locking down your vision before you even hit generate. Oh, actually, quick heads up on those reference files. There is one operational limitation you definitely need to know so you don't hit a wall. Audio references can never be uploaded completely on their own. They must always be paired with an uploaded image or video. Just keep that golden rule in the back of your mind when you're organizing your workspace, and your generation flow will be smooth sailing. Let's put this into perspective for your day-to-day workflow. In the traditional world, if a client demands a change, or you realize a shot just isn't working, you're looking at a costly, massive headache of a reshoot. But with MiniMax H3, you're essentially editing without reshoots. Got a clip you want to tweak? Just prompt the AI with what to change. No need to go back to set. You can even take the motion from one video and instantly transfer it into a brand new scene. Just type out the instructions, and the engine handles the heavy lifting. The relief this brings to creators is just off the charts. Now, you might be thinking, this requires an engineering degree to figure out. Actually, scratch that. It is surprisingly accessible. Using the platform basically boils down to 3 really sleek steps. Step 1, choose your starting point, like your text or photo, and toss in those reference files we talked about. Step 2, describe your shot and pick your aspect ratio. And step 3, generate and download. That's it. It completely removes the technical friction, so you can focus 100% on your creative ideas. Let's circle back to step 2 for a second, because the output versatility here is fantastic. You've got your 9:16 for vertical platforms like TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. You've got classic 16:9 for YouTube,
but you also get highly cinematic 21:9, traditional 4:3, square 1:1, 3:4, and even an adaptive option. So no matter where your audience hangs out or what specific platform you're building for, you can generate footage perfectly framed for that exact experience right out of the gate.
All right, let's talk about actual visual quality, because this is where the engine really flexes. You aren't getting some blurry, low-res proxy file here. The system outputs in pristine 2K resolution. This is a massive highlight. It means the footage you pull out of this thing has the crispness and the visual fidelity to sit right next to traditionally shot high-definition media, and it won't look out of place at all.
But you know, resolution is only half the battle. Motion is the other half, and this engine delivers true 24 frames per second. If you're a film nerd, you already know 24 FPS is the absolute gold standard for cinematic motion. It gives you that natural, pleasing motion blur that our brains instantly associate with high-end movies. It proves this tool isn't just spitting out static images that weirdly wiggle, it's delivering true standard-compliant cinematic video.
So building on that, how long are these shots? MiniMax H3 actually lets you produce up to 15 seconds of this high-end 2K 24 FPS footage from a single prompt. To put that into perspective, in the world of high-end editing or fast-paced social media, a 15-second continuous, consistent shot is practically an eternity. It gives you plenty of runway to establish your scene, show off complex motion, and land a complete narrative beat before you even have to think about cutting. And I've got some fantastic news for the pros tuning in. The freelance filmmakers, the marketers, the agency teams. The final creator perks here are a big deal. 0 watermarks on your outputs, and they are fully cleared for commercial use. You aren't just playing around in a closed sandbox. You are generating real, legally clear assets that you can turn around and drop right into a client project, a monetized ad campaign, or a professional broadcast.
So, the obvious question is, how accessible is this to actually try? Well, when you go and create a new account over on the VideoAI platform, they immediately gift you 10 free credits. You can use those to test drive the MiniMax H3 engine right away. It's the perfect way to get in there, test out the prompt system, see the character consistency for yourself, and check out that 2K output before you ever have to commit to a subscription or a credit pack.
We've covered the multimodal tech, the consistency tools, the built-in audio, and that beautiful cinematic output. The barriers to high-end video production literally have never been lower than they are right now. So the only thing left to ask is this: what cinematic world will you build with just one photo? I really encourage you to jump in, grab those free credits, and see how far you can push your own creativity. Thanks so much for joining me for today's breakdown, and I can't wait to explore the next big breakthrough with you.